Hello again. Let me do some adjusting here. All right, so I have chapter 14 here of Abel's Island. Sometime in March, Abel felt that he was thawing out. More wakeful than he'd been, he realized that winter had become less cold. And he bestirred himself to be up and around. He went outside feeling weak, but as he moved about under the wide blue sky, breathing the clear air and exercising his limbs, he felt stronger. There were 2 crocuses in the snow, those are flowers, early spring flowers. Sure harbingers of spring. Enlivened by this miracle, the dainty flowers braving the cold, he bustled about outside his log, setting things in order. He wound his watch, listened in rapture to its steady ticking, and went to read his book, really more to be back in his old routine than for the sake of reading. The sun seemed full of plans, less bored with the world than it had been, less aloof. But after a pleasant day, it turned terribly cold again at night, and Abel crawled back under all his coverings, disappointed. Yet the very next morning, it seemed to be spring again. Snow melted, revealing the earth. The river, swollen with freshets from the thawing, was swifter than ever, exultingly rushing along. Abel finished reading his book in a few more visits, and he was glad to be finished, because what was happening around him was a lot more exciting than any book. Now he liked to lie in the warm sun on the open patches of ground and just be part of the world's awakening. Here's a picture of him doing that. He's just laying on the ground, taking it all in, because winter is leaving and spring is coming. Of course, he has his spear with him. Hello, ladybug. A ladybug or an Asian beetle just landed on my table. Where did you come from? He visited the birch, sat in his favorite roost, and admired the birch's buds as one admires a friend's babies. At night, he found his star in the sky and was happy, in case the star had missed him, to show that he was still alive. All this time of burgeoning life and joy, he hadn't failed to carry his spear and watch out for that owl. He never saw it, and he concluded that it must have gone away, if it hadn't died during the deadly cold winter. Of course, Abel took to communing again with Amanda, and by April, he was rather sure that they were in touch with each other again. By then, there were many bright birds outside, setting up house in the north after their season in the south, expressing delight at being back. Fresh grass pushed through the old dead stubble. Buds embroidered the trees. Abel saw his whole world suffused with green. When the flowers appeared in May, he went crazy. Violets, dandelions, pinks, forget-me-nots decked the island. Abel ate grass and young violet greens, fresh food with the juice of life. He drank large draughts of his wine and ran about everywhere like a wild animal, shouting and yodeling. How it would surprise his family to see him now. A group of geese passed overhead, honking. He waved a greeting. They passed on. At times, he felt he had no need of others. He bathed in the fresh cold water at the river's edge and laid on his back under the sun, trying to fathom the firmament. One day, as he was sunning this way, with wine in his belly, who should come huffing and puffing and staggering out of the stream but an obese, elderly frog? Drunk as he was, Abel wondered if he was seeing things, but the frog began to talk. Here's a picture of that happening. So you can see Abel next to the river, and all of a sudden, a chubby old frog shows up. Oh, wow, whoosh, whoa, gosh almighty, I never thought I'd make it. The frog flung himself down on the bank, flopped over on his back, legs and arms outstretched, and sputtered some disconnected words. Overjoyed at hearing civilized speech again, Abel ran over to the recumbent frog and looked down at him, beaming with candid delight. Remember, Abel has not seen or talked to anyone, like in months and months and months. The frog blinked. "Hi," he said. "Wow, did I have a time with that river and that waterfall? I thought I'd drown." "What happened?" asked Abel. The frog sat up. Abel sat down beside him. Having come from the busy world of society, the frog was less surprised to see Abel than Abel was to see him. "Gower Glackens is the name," said the frog. "Who might you be, and where am I?" "On an island," Abel answered. "You are talking to Abelard Hassam de Chirico Flint. For short, Abel." "Pleased to meet you," said Gower, extending a cold, clammy hand. Abel had never enjoyed shaking hands with his frog friends, but he enjoyed grasping Gower's. "Imagine someone my age, with all my years of experience, letting himself get into that kind of water. Spring fever, I guess. I'm always a little batty after lying in the cold mud all winter. The sun made me think I could navigate anything. The river can't handle all those freshets pouring in. It goes wild. Where is this, anyway? Is there a town here? A post office? Any boats?" "No," said Abel. "There's only me. Sorry." "Well, don't be sorry," said Gower. "I'd rather find you than find no one. Why are you here?" "I came the way you did," said Abel, "against my will." And for the next half an hour, Abel told his story. "Wow," said the frog when Abel was finished. "I was sure I was dead after that waterfall. I must have hit the bottom, filled my big mouth with sand. I didn't know where I was going after that. I just went. Gosh, my family must be worried. They're all asking, 'Where's Gramps?'" He told about his big family and where he came from. Abel had never heard of the place, and the frog had never heard of Mossville. "Let's go to my house," Abel said. "It's over that way." He helped Gower up to his feet and conducted him back to the log, where he gave him a big drink of wine. Gower drank in glugging gulps. "Oh, I needed that," he said. Then he went into a trance. Gower squatted on the ground, as frogs do, blinked in what seemed to Abel to be a smug way, and remained motionless. Abel saw him as crude, but utterly charming. He prodded him. "Gower." "Who? What? Where am I?" said Gower. "Oh, it's you." He did this often, as Abel was to learn. Here's a picture of him taking him back to where he lives and then going into a trance. So he just kind of sits and stares with his eyes open. All right, I'm going to stop there and I'll be right back with the next chapter.